Good afternoon, world, and welcome to another episode of Tanda Tula Sofa Safari. And this may well actually be our last episode in this format. Operationally, things are picking up. The world is slowly coming out of lockdowns, and we're just going to be looking to rejuvenate the way we do this. Rather than long episodes, we're going to still get out there, still go film this stuff, still put my face in front of this camera, but rather do short snippets that we'll share on YouTube and our Instagram channels. So yeah, it's been a real wonderful year now. It's over a year, 13 months that we've been doing these, being able to witness and experience some magical moments, and been so great being able to bring these to you, even if it is only virtually. But it is really encouraging to see that so many more people are starting to book. Towards the end of the year, we're looking really good. So I hope that borders open, that you can all travel and come and experience this for yourself. However, we're not going to get sad about it. As I say, it's still going to be content coming to you from the bush, just shorter snippets of good sightings, things that we see out with guests when we go out, or when I go out when I haven't got guests. So don't stray too far from YouTube and our other social media platforms. Anyway, for today, we're going to go check up on the River Pride. It's cooling down a little bit. There's a fire burning in Kruger, which should actually cool it down a little bit. It's going to put a bit of particulate matter between the sun and ourselves, and that should make for some incredible light, and hopefully some cooler conditions that are going to get the lions active a little earlier. And then we see what else is out there. I know they've already got a leopard out in the west, but we're heading in the opposite direction, so we shall see what the day brings. Anyway, that's enough of me for now. Let's go and see some animals. Just coming up to Shortcut Plains, and I can already see our first large animal. Large, but only got 2 legs. Haven't seen these guys for a fair time. It's unfortunately not our ostrich family, but it is a beautiful male. Probably the same male who frequents this area every winter. No idea what happened to our little pride, whether this was indeed the male. As we mentioned at the time of them being around, they generally don't have great success in raising these chicks. And very few of their litter clutch, making it to adulthood. And look, we don't know where the female is, so I'm not going to say that they weren't successful. We just haven't seen them or any sign of them, so they may have moved to maybe some of the more open areas to the southeast of us in the Kruger. Anyway, he's waltzing off, and we shall do the same. Beautiful big male kudu, just south of Mashatten Dam. He's in the company of a female, which is quite standard for this time of year. These females are coming into estrus now during the winter months. May, June, probably into early July. That's when these boys like to follow them, otherwise they can't stay away. It's so easy to overlook them if they are standing dead still. However, when they move, especially a guy with horns as large as this, they do present themselves quite easily. You may notice, he may have even appeared in one of the episodes before, that left horn of his not as deeply spiraled as the right one, much straighter and longer. May affect his ability to fight, but I think in general he's big enough and large enough that he probably have some good mating success this coming winter. Definitely not going to win any awards for the best shot of our 70 odd sofa safaris, but that is the female. Just ruminating in the shade. She's not alone though. Got the company of a couple of red-billed oxpeckers, as you can see, combing through the fur. Her beautiful white stripes in evidence. I wonder if that's where the band got the name from, the white stripes. Massive Kudu fans? I doubt it. Okay, so we are back in the area where we had seen the River Pride in our last episode. And unsurprisingly, they are still just chilling here. It's been a warm day. I made the mistake of running in the middle of the day and it was very unpleasant. So I can imagine that their day of sitting, chilling in the shade. Bit of a breeze blowing, you can see the grass moving. That will keep them cool, but we're now just before 5. I'm sure it's not going to be long before at least the youngsters get up and start getting active. Can't see them from here. I can see a bit of one on the right. They are in an area where we're not going to be able to get too close because of there is actually a cub's head on the right. And not going to be able to get close because of the sensitive nature of the swirls around them. But we'll be patient. You hear one of the other lions coughing or sneezing. Got the attention of the little guy. It does appear as though it's 2 boys and 1 girl in this new litter. Sadly, those fat bellies are not very conducive to active lions, so we're going to carry on a little bit, maybe hang in the area. Gets a little bit more active a little later, we'll go back, but I want to see a lot of impala rutting down here. Maybe we can catch up with these boys behaving badly. See the smoke from this Kruger fire originating out here to our southeast, but we're going to paint the sky a beautiful colour later. The sun has now set, and activity is slowly starting amongst these youngsters. So you can see from their fat bellies and hot conditions was never going to be conducive to a lot of activity. The brave little guy has gone off exploring on his or her own, some distance from the others who are still with mum. Interesting, the pride has suddenly jumped up. May have heard something. They're trotting off. Mom's now trying to decide what to do. Leave the cubs or take the cubs. Leave it. Patiently waiting. And these cubs are getting left behind, so they're going to go into hiding. We're going to leave them be. Male's also up and ready. I've caught up with the males on the other side of this block. Where they are heading is pretty thick. Ow, sorry, my hand got sore. There's still a lot of rutting impalas in there. I don't know if they maybe heard that and thought this is a good time. The moon's been waxing towards full moon, which had reached last night. Now it's in the waning phase. So each night it's going to rise 40 minutes later. Last night it rose just on sunset or just after sunset. So we've got now about that 40-minute window where it's going to be much darker. Our eyes are struggling to adjust to this, and my camera's struggling to adjust to this, but these lines can see pretty damn well at this time. And it's a good period, good window to go hunting in. And the antelope species haven't quite yet adjusted their vision. The rhodopsin that is forming between sunset and darkness takes, in humans it's about 40 minutes to build up, and this rhodopsin is going to help them see at night. And it hasn't yet built up. Whereas lions have their very sensitive retinas, a lot of rod cells packed in there that allow them to see in light and see in the dark, is going to give them the advantage. So they don't need that rhodopsin. It does build up in their eyes, but they don't need it like the antelopes do. You may also hear the sounds of rutting impalas in the background, advertising their presence to the impalas, but inadvertently advertises it to the lions as well. So the Nara males have moved off following the pride. They didn't take the cubs stayed there until Tillis Plains, which means that they're probably going to hunt and then return here tomorrow morning, or if they do have success with a kill, return here during the night, fetch them and take them there. So that becomes tomorrow's goal, to come and try and get a little bit more action and interaction from this pride, because as we learned last year, it's not always guaranteed that these cubs are going to be around forever, and even when they are, they grow very quickly, and it's not long before they're sleepy and lazy like their parents. But yeah, we're going to call it a night for now and carry on tomorrow morning. Good morning. It's another day. In fact, quite a few days later since our last outing. I had a very busy weekend in camp. We were full camp again. Well, weather was slightly miserable. Temperatures dropped, there was wind, but it was brightened by the fact that this bird spent a few days hopping around the canopies of the trees in camp. It's called a Narina Trogan, and it was a lifer for me. It's a bird I've always wanted to see. Never gone looking for it. If you go up to the Maripskop mountain, the portion of the Drakensberg very close to us, they occur there. Quite difficult to spot. It's a little bit large, but green bird in a green canopy, and they typically don't show you that beautiful pink breast of theirs. And on thick riparian forests, but we don't have that here. So it was quite a surprise that a colleague sent a photo saying, look what I've just seen in camp. I missed it the next day, and luckily the third day our guests were actually waiting for me to drive back into camp to tell me that the bird was still there. So I grabbed the camera and got to see it. So that was our highlight of the weekend, was an Narina Trogan. The lions have pushed off. They've gone back to the southeast towards our southern boundary. So they're very, especially the baboons have been walking down the road. Their time around Meshutten Dam unsurprisingly came to an end. They'd been there for around 3 weeks. and lions can't stay in the same spot for that long. The prey just become way too familiar with them and their movements, so they've moved back to the southeast. So yeah, we'll head on out there this morning, carry on this episode and see what we can add to it. But gloves are on, it is getting fresh. Winter is knocking at the door. I had just been on the radio to a colleague saying, in the last 2.5 weeks I've been driving, the only time this cat has showed herself is when I'm not on drive. And lo and behold, she jumped out the grass next to my car. But we have Tumbela here, rolling around in some elephant dung. Not elephant dung, buffalo dung. Very muddy paws. So they have found her over the last couple of days with a youngster close to Meshutten Dam. Now that is one positive. Now that the lions have moved on, these other smaller predators are going to feel a little bit more comfortable. Something's got... Oops, sorry. Apologies. Something's got her attention up ahead. Still just lying listening. Could be for some spur fowl in the grass. But what a beautiful sight. She is a wonderful and beautiful leopard. Searching for Franklins. Another one. Go carry on looking for these lion cubs again. You know me, I love cubs. See if they may be out. Did find them down here a couple of days ago when I drove. Just the moms, but no sign of the cubs. Tracks for the cubs, so we didn't see them. But they're south on this Meshutten riverbed, so let's mosey on down. So it is the rutting calls of impala you can hear, and a Swainson spurfowl who's decided to just stop doing anything the second I put a camera on him. But often talk about and mention these guys, but I don't think I ever film them. A Swainson's spurfowl. Bye. A little scene of some wildebeest here, out in the open areas in the east again. Which they can do now that the lions have moved off. It hasn't been a successful morning in terms of searching for lions, but hopefully, but with them being gone, hopefully these animals can now return and we'll have a bit more general game activity around here. Not too sure what is happening. I think, had similar behaviour in an episode last year. Or am I dreaming? But I have a society like this where they just kind of target one wildebeest and all kind of try to chase it away. And this is the one that will be targeted, the one that's moving to the left now. It's been a few episodes since these creatures made an appearance. Probably a combination of there not being as many around in the eastern sections as we are used to, and maybe me just overlooking them because we've had lion cubs and other things. But it's nice to see, actually. In all the kilometers I've driven this morning, this is the first group I have come across. A little group of young males. And those are giraffes, just in case there's anyone wondering. But I'm sure there's not a single one of you wondering what those are. I thought I would just pop into Impala Dam on the way back to camp, hoping to find some of these ones. And as you can hear, this one is not alone. A whole herd of them who've probably just finished drinking. It's been particularly enjoyable the last few days, having had these elephant herds back in good numbers, as we have grown so accustomed to in the past. So for the last while, we keep having to explain to guests that we actually do normally have lots of elephants. I'm not sure where they are, because they haven't been around, but around Impala Dam at the moment, it's like we are used to experiencing. This is sort of the third herd that I've bumped into within a couple hundred meters of the dam. So nice to have them back. Little babies in there too. Very small in there. A couple of months old. Remember being, in air quotes, concerned that there were so few babies at the start of the summer. We just weren't seeing little ones, but yeah, they've more than made up for it in the latter half of it. Yeah, as I say, I use the term concerned quite loosely. The concern should rather probably be the very young age base of these herds that can just lead to exponential growth, and the uncertainty of just how many elephants this area can support. But yeah, it's been nice to have the lack of elephants, give the area a bit of a rest, and now as winter approaches, I'm sure we're going to see them moving in bigger numbers. It's okay. Just a youngish one remonstrating as she approached. Oh, it's a wonderful poop there. Enjoying these raisin bushes at the moment. Hear and see her just stripping the leaves off at will. Evidence behind that female of another middle-aged knobthorn that has been stripped of its bark. And again, we've mentioned there's been a lot of incidents. I actually showed you some of the marula trees that had been ring-barked a couple of months ago. And it seems to have been very, very evident this summer, more so than most summers. And a friend chatted to the elephant researchers asking what it was about this year that has led to such an increase, or for us anyway, a notable increase of the marula trees being ring-barked, with not as much evidence of the increase in knobthorns being ring-barked. And the one belief was possibly because of the large content of grass in their diet, they need some extra roughage to try and break it down, and they're getting that from the wood. It was also a very good fruiting season for all the trees, and elephants may have sensed that there was more nutrients being pushed up the cambium layer at the start of the fruiting season, and then targeted that cambium layer while the transportation of these nutrients and moisture was taking place. But yeah, we lost a good number of marula trees this summer, which is not ideal. And yeah, we're not going to go into the debate now. We've touched on it before, but it's part of the concern with the elephant numbers, as they are when they stay so permanently high, is the effect that they have on these large trees and the knock-on effects of losing those trees from your landscape. Now another group of ellies leaving the same waterhole. There's about 3 different families I've seen in the area already. Oops, and there goes another knobthorn tree. Don't worry, Ricky, this is not your property. I think that's where we are going to leave it today. The joyous ending to the drive, just being immersed in, must be 70, 80 elephants in this area. Yeah, we miss them, we really do. So great to have them back. And yes, as I said at the start of this episode, just due to operational requirements at the lodge as business is picking up, this is going to be our last Sofa Safari in this format for a while. We'll just play it by ear as things progress over the next couple of months. If we do have quieter periods, I'll definitely try and get out again. Otherwise, what we are going to be doing is continuing to bring you content, videos and that, but on a smaller, shorter video basis. So when I have time, I'll get out, record the sighting, and then upload that. So rather than a whole kind of drive strung together, it will just be kind of almost best of snippets of what we see. So please be sure to keep checking out on our Facebook page, Instagram, on this YouTube channel, and we will keep on bringing you the content. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been so great in supporting us, in the comments, the likes, the shares. You've provided the reason for us to go out and do this, and we would really do appreciate that. But yeah, fortunately, things are starting to pick up on the tourism front, and this is leading to us being busier and less time to actually get out and spend time alone filming. As I said, we'll be doing it with people in the back row there, so hopefully you guys can come and join soon. But until next time, take care, stay safe, and we will see you again with some Sofa Safari snippets very, very soon. Cheerio. Just before we close down at camp, got a little group of buffalo bulls here at one of our natural pans. There's 2 here, 1 more on the left. But good to see. I've seen quite a few signs of them this morning. First ones we've actually seen, but they are becoming a little bit more obvious. Even heard there was a herd of buffalo out in the west this morning, so good positive signs.